Good morning. Welcome to Cause, Creating and Understanding Self-Empowerment. Well, today is a special day for us, and it was an unplanned day. Me and the brother, we came out to work out, and it wasn't even rehearsed. So I told them that, this is Juneteenth. We got a program over at the office, Vote 4930 Washington Avenue later on today. And so I said that, many Juneteenth programs that I have been involved in, right? And most of the time when I'm involved with it, I let other people talk about the day of history of what we most know about it, how it became about, slavery. And what I like to do many times is I like to resume bodies, dig up bodies from the graveyard, and unsung heroes that people don't know nothing about, But because I'm sharing this podcast, me and him will be back and forth on, our knowledge of what we know about it, because this is a day worth celebrating, and this is both of us, this is the first holiday that we've both been out. I mean, they have had some holidays, but like I tell some people, some of those holidays is just to pull up the slack in the national growth product. They really ain't have significance as this day here is today for black people. So what you think about that?
Yeah, I think you made a good point. Everything has been commercialized, and we celebrate everything that's not a reflection of us. So I'm excited about the day. I'm excited about every day, but I'm definitely excited about the day. It's sad too, because I think about everything that came before me, and a lot of times in my life, a lot of my knowledge doesn't come from reading a book. It's just in me. And I know if it's in me, that means it was in me because it's from a lineage that I come from, the people that I come from, and then my desire to be a beacon of change, or to be a part of change, and to be an example to push, us forward. It's not by mistake. It's in us. It's the reason why we sitting at this table. Ain't nobody paying us to sit at this table. We ain't doing it for no props. We doing it because we want to affect change. So I'm thankful. And I always wonder, the struggle that people went through before me, and a lot of times, a lot of my issues come from that, because at one point I felt like anything I could do was justified because of so much things being done to us. So I felt like anything that I could do to pursue what I wanted to pursue was justified, especially in this country right here, and I had to grow up, and I had to, tone that down and move past that, or I spend the rest of my life in prison,
You kind of like when you said that, you remind me of Eldridge Cleaver.
Yeah,
His book Soul on Ice.
Man.
It was a lot of things that he felt and it was justifiable.
Yeah, he said, I remember at first, I always think about him, I think he said, sometimes helping your people is like spitting in the wind. Like a lot of times people don't appreciate it. So, but I appreciate it. I appreciate everything that people that came before me, brothers, doing whatever they did to try to change the system and to change to even the path or make the path easier for the next person that come behind. That's what I'm taking from it. To always, if I'm in a position to challenge things and to try to make it better for somebody coming before me, because if I know if I'm going through situations like where we are now, if I'm going through situations, I can just be smooth and go through the program with no issues. But if there are issues that I feel like need to be addressed, whether while I'm here or when I leave from here, then it's my responsibility, because they're gonna have guys coming here that don't understand the process. So that means I got to entertain doing certain things, because when they come, they're gonna fall in the trap. I'm not gonna change their life, but if they didn't have to go through this or that. So.
And that's when you say that, what comes to mind that, people always talk about the hands of time, right? Okay, but the hands of time has a responsibility not just for the past, but also the future.
Right.
It's just like, later on, like I said, we got a program that's going on over, which you're very familiar with, Vote. And again, it's like many things gonna be conveyed to the people that's there, right? That generally we know, okay, we associate in school special ed, right? Like special education for slow people, right? But what we want to take and do is make special ed different, meaning special education. A special education for those to wake up, right? Meaning like today, for as what this day is about. And this is a monumental day because it have became a federal holiday. And and it came from a lot of struggles with black people over the time. Because I know when I went to prison 26 years ago, I had never even heard of Juneteenth. You know what I'm saying? Because meaning that there wasn't.
About either,
but you know what? That's weird because
that's the black thing. What you talking about?
Right, but some people say they're not in the black thing. But what I like now is about that youngsters. I got a 9-year-old daughter. 9-year-old granddaughter. Right, when she was over by my house over the weekend, I asked her about Juneteenth, and she was able to tell. And I said, "Well, y'all just learned that." She said, "No, we had that last year, so that was 8." So that's special education that's going on now that we didn't get years ago. A lot about our history was being suppressed, and that's why I said, I wanted to dig up some bodies, some people on some pages of history that I want to give an agency to today, meaning that I want to dig them up and let the world know about these unsung heroes. And one of them in particular is a runaway slave, right, by the name of Stephen Sutton, right? Right now today, he was, there's pages in history that tell you that he was like one of the first black lane owners formed in Minnesota, Brooklyn Township, Minnesota, right? He was a runaway slave, right? But not only that, see, a lot of people don't know that when the Civil War started between the Union and the Confederates, we know that was about slaves, right? But a lot of times we don't associate that at that time that we as black people, when it started as slaves, right, we wasn't eligible to be in the army. And not only we were ineligible, there was white people thought that we didn't have the character, right? We didn't have the capability, and we didn't have the courage to fight, because they looked at us as people that just accepted everything that it is. But there were some brothers that created, like with this brother that I'm talking about, Stephen Sutton. They created, and it wasn't a part of what most people know as they was just against the repression of black people as slaves down south, and he was a runaway slave. And this is what they referred to them. We heard the term contraband, right? The Confederate soldier, which was General Benjamin Butler, right? He coined the term contraband, saying that those blacks was contraband who was fighting in the war, right? Because many of them ran off, and he was a runaway slave that I'm talking about, right? But they formed the 57 Colored Infantry in Brooklyn Township, Minnesota, and this is a part of history, What a lot of people don't understand and know about also, that at the time that white people, got involved in federal, as far as federal, fighting the war, right? That you could substitute, right, someone to fight for you, and some of them did. They paid blacks to go fight for them. And it was like the community put up fines like $250, and some of those brothers came down and fought, you know what I'm saying, in place of white people, So there's a lot of history that people don't know, that we was involved with this Civil War more than what history tells us.
Wow.
So it seems like it's starting to be an education to you, huh?
Yeah, I never knew about the individual, about the bonding, and they could actually pay and put another body there in place.
Well,
it doesn't surprise me though.
Well, actually, you could probably Google this about a German immigrant named Henry Schaefer, right? Because right now they got a lot of land out there in Minnesota, and they pay homage right now to one of those that we were talking about. And right, and his name was William Dixon, right? He came down to Louisiana, and because he was paid in the substitute to come down and fight, in the war, right, from up there, right? And this is what a lot of people don't know, that there was more soldiers on both sides died because of disease more than than they did in terms of wounds
In the
of
field.
war, right?
Right.
Because people didn't know about staph infections and all type of things, and so what they took and did is that they might treat it for a gunshot wound and then go over and treat this person and bring the infection there,
Contaminate.
and they contaminated, and many people died from disease. You know, and this little 18-year-old that I just mentioned, right? He was one of them. You know, William Dixon. You know, as the pages of history say, he was from Tennessee, right? But he went up to Minnesota and got involved, and they paid a fine for him to come down. So there was a lot of things in history that we don't know, especially in terms of them calling us contraband, you know, and things. So, but anyway, we just wanted to get a little content out. I hope this is useful. And like I said today, we got a program over at Vote 1430 Washington Avenue, which is Juneteenth. It started at 5:30, and it's for the community, you know. Hopefully it don't rain though, you know, because we've been getting rain.
Yeah,
So
hopefully we later tonight.
But anything else you want to add to this, brother?
I just want to, anybody who see this, just when you have an opportunity to assist, you know. Don't be naive, but when you have the opportunity to assist and try to make it a part of who you are, to pay it forward, to try to assist somebody and bring somebody toward the light. That's something that's, you know, self-reflective and self-reliant, you know, and support things that support you. Support people who support you, regardless where they come from and how they look, you know. So that's the day we're in now. We have to support each other, you know.
Because Black history,
Right.
and you know, and that's the thing also about, I always say this here. I mean, we can even take George Floyd. George Floyd probably didn't care about Black history,
Right.
but Black history cared enough about him,
Exactly.
you know, to go out and fight. You know what I'm saying? Freddie Gray in Baltimore, he probably didn't care about Black history, but Black history cared enough about him to go out and fight,
See the
protest, right? You know, so
you know?
yeah. So I don't care, never get you anywhere,
Right.
you know. But I tell people to say, you know, it's like, you know, sometimes, you know, we can. I mean, I remember when I was in prison, you know, I found out about a daughter that I didn't know anything about, right? And so I came home and, you know, kind of like talked and lied and all this here. But I'm getting to a point where it's like, you know, right now I could take a blood test and find out maybe she's not my daughter, right? But one thing for sure, I can't take a blood test, right, and find out I'm not a part of Black history,
Right.
you know, because that's connected to all of us, you know, and we have a responsibility
Venus.
to know about it, right, so we can pass it on, you know. So on that, I leave you like I came. Enjoy your day. Happy Juneteenth.